Alright guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another video on Talk Sutty. And unfortunately, I've had to do it. I've had to do the video talking about Man City and the chance of winning a treble. I didn't think I was ever going to be doing a video like this, especially not about Man City, the absolute rivals of my beloved club, Man United. It's a sad one, but I've got to talk about it. And I want to dive into the Champions League final, but before that, we're going to talk about the FA Cup final that happened on the weekend. I didn't really do a reaction video because I thought, you know what, I'll link it with this video. I'm going to talk about that game, obviously, against my club in a 2-1 victory for Manchester City that took them a massive step closer to winning the treble, the absolute prestigious treble that is only held by Manchester United in England, of course. Obviously, other teams have won it. I believe Barca have won it, Bayern have won it. Might be another team as well. But, yeah, they'll be the second club to do it in English football. And I don't want that to happen personally, but I've got to talk about it. And talking about that final, well, Man City, obviously they won 2-1. If you didn't watch the game, I don't know where you were at. Most people in the UK were watching that game. It was a weird game when I was watching it, obviously being a United fan. I'm going to try and take my United hat off, even though I've got the crest right next to my heart. Yeah, it was a weird one. Obviously, Gundogan, absolute great player. Just turned up 13 seconds in, 15 seconds in, absolutely wallop, bosh, on the volley, see you later, top bins. And to be honest, as a United fan, I thought we're going to get absolutely smashed here. And we did well to get a goal back. Obviously, penalty, there was a few shouts of saying it wasn't a penalty. It was, but it doesn't matter in the end because Gundogan done it again on the, I think it was a half volley this time. Or it might have been the volley, actually. No, I think it was a half volley. Off his shin, De Gea, concrete feet on his line, not about as slow as a snail trying to move across his goal. But, end of the day, a goal's a goal. Gundogan, the biggest game player around at the moment, it seems. When it's this time period for City, this last quarter of the season, he just turns up, and I think he becomes their best player. He did it last season, and I think he did it the season before as well. He just turns up in these big moments for him, and I mean, you've got to hats off, because you need big game players who can do it, and he could be the very big player that does it in the Champions League final for him. But still talking about the FA Cup final, there was signs that City maybe had not dropped off, but the sharpness wasn't quite there, because obviously Pep had rotated the team the last couple of weeks in the Premier League before that, because obviously they'd already been crowned champions because of Arsenal's bottling, and they did actually lose, didn't they, against Brentford, and did they draw against Brighton, or did they win? They might have won against Brighton actually in the end. I can't. No, they drew against Brighton, and they lost against Brentford, I believe. But in the final, the FA Cup final, it looked like they'd dropped a little bit of sharpness, and that's why I felt like it was a lot closer than it would have been possibly if United had played City the game after the Real Madrid game when they absolutely smashed them. What was it, 4-0 in the semi-final? We did a stream on it on here. I mean, they absolutely spanked them left, right and centre. It was just an easy game for them in the end because they were that good. But maybe that was because of United's defensive shape. And now moving on to the final, obviously we have got Inter Milan versus Man City. We are going to be doing a live stream on this channel at about 7:30. I'll probably schedule a live stream later on. It'll probably be up on the channel. That'll be for 7:30. We will be going live for tomorrow night for the big anticipated Champions League final, where City can not only win their first ever European silverware, or first ever Champions League, should I say, they also get their hand on a treble. Yes, a treble. Like I said, I still can't believe I'm saying that. But yeah, it's a big game for them, and it's a big game for Inter, of course. Big game for both. It's a Champions League final. It's a huge game. All eyes will be on it to see if City and Pep Guardiola, of course, can win his first Champions League, which is the reason he was brought into the club all those years ago. He obviously had one chance at it. He messed up with a lineup tactical problem from him, but it just seems now that they've got their tactical awareness just on point. Pep's got his tactics to an absolute T. He knows what he's doing. We know what he's doing. Inter know what he's doing, but he still does it, and he does it so well with that 3-2, 3-2-4-1. Have I done my maths right there? I think that's right. Yeah, 3-2-4-1 with like Akanji, Diaz, Walker at the back with Stones going into the midfield with Rodri, and then obviously you've got like De Bruyne, Gundogan, Grealish, Bernardo Silva, possibly Mahrez I've heard for the final maybe, and then Haaland up front. I mean, you know how they're going to line up. It's an absolute rock solid team. They've got world class players all over the shop, world class players on the bench. That's what I thought as personally for when United and they were bringing on Foden, and you just thought, wow, they've just got absolute great players, and it's unbelievable bringing on. I think they brought on Julian Alvarez for De Bruyne, I believe, in the final, and I was just I'm in awe of their depth. Not like that A team, B team thing is not really a thing anymore, but they've got 15, 16 solid players who are just like world class above like most people in the Premier League, which is outrageous. And yeah, they've got a big chance of winning this Champions League, and they could do it with ease, really. Especially if they score early, they can push Inter back, because you know Inter, they're going to be sitting back, they're going to be just hoping on a prayer. Let's not take anything away from Inter. They're in a Champions League final for a reason. They beat AC Milan 3-0 over 2 legs, which is massive for them because they're AC Milan, they're the biggest rivals, and to beat them 3-0 over 2 legs is very, very impressive. But you know what they're going to be. They're going to be solid at the back. I believe Onana, the keeper, I think they've got the most clean sheets in the Champions League, or definitely up there. So you know what they're going to be. They're going to be trying tight at the back, deeper than United were playing. So Haaland might be isolated out of this game unless he can start getting balls in and he can win headers. But you're going to be relying on De Bruyne from deep, Gundogan from deep, which we obviously saw in the FA Cup final. But if Inter can stay sturdy and they don't do defensive mistakes like United did, like 13 seconds into the game, Lindelof not winning a header first time, letting it bounce and then going up for it, winning it first time, or players like Eriksen not closing down Gundogan at the edge of the box, or leaving him on the edge of the box in the first place on his own, which is stupid. If they don't do that, they've got a big chance, because they could get lucky like United did with the penalty, and maybe they win 1-0. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a 1-0 Inter, a 2-1 City, a 1-0 City, 2-0 City maybe. I think it'll be a very, very close game. Or if Inter can just drag it out to penalties and win on penalties, you never know how the game will go. But you've got two absolutely solid teams here. City really, really have cracked it down the last quarter of the season, and really started to put in really proper good performances. Like I said, they've got the team nailed on. Inter solid, they'll be rough, and yeah, they just maybe hit them on the break or get a set piece goal, boom, head it in, or absolute somebody, just Lukaku off the bench, big man, holds it down, plays it to someone. You know what I mean? They have got options. They've obviously got Dzeko. I mean, wouldn't it be written in the stars him to score against City, to lose the treble, to make Pep not get the his first Champions League for Man City? I mean, it could be written in the stars. Or maybe an ex-United player, Mkhitaryan, Lukaku. Did I say Mkhitaryan? Yeah, no, Mkhitaryan played for Roma. He played for Roma, or is he? No, he plays for Inter now, doesn't he? Or does he play for Roma now? I actually don't even know, to be honest. I might. You know, he plays for Inter, I believe. Yeah, he plays for Inter. So does Lukaku, and Darmian does. So any of those ex-United players, you never know. You never know. It could be an upset, and it would be an upset because City are definitely, I think City are the favourites. I'd not actually checked the odds, but I would have thought they were, especially with their form going into it, disregarding the last 2 league games. I mean, they didn't really count because they didn't play the full team. But Inter are on good form as well. I believe they've won either 11 or 12 out of the... I think they've lost like 1 game out of the last 12, 13 games or something. So they're in very decent form, which is what you need going into a Champions League final. Both teams will be nervous. I mean, City will have the pressure on them, that treble, that Champions League. Pep will be nervous, but so will Inter. Obviously, I don't believe they've really reached a European final since 2010, which obviously when they won it with Mourinho. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. We're going to be here live streaming for it. I can't wait for it. Obviously, you know I'm cheering for Forza, Inter Milan. Let's go. But all I want to see as a neutral is a good game with Inter winning it. Let's be honest. I don't want City to win the treble. This is my honest opinion. I'm being serious. I don't want City to win it. If they win it, fair dues indeed. Congratulations. But obviously, I want Inter Milan to win it, but we are going to be there. Like I said, 7:30. I will schedule a stream later on tonight for tomorrow. Hop in, join the live stream at any point. Doesn't matter. Drop a like on this video while you're at it. Hit the subscribe button as well. But that's going to be it from me. Sooty out.